what you gotta do when you think about that, you gotta think, how much, can y'all turn that light off over there, please? However much money you want coming in every single month, you gotta think in your mind, that's how many rental properties I need to have, okay? So if we wanna do, and so I would say initially maybe make it 10. You know, we'll start with 1, and then once you get to 1, and once you see, hey, it's not so bad, it's not the boogeyman, right? And you go to the second month, you go to the third month, then, I mean, not third month, third door, you start seeing, oh my gosh, this is really possible. So the key with in real estate, and some people ask me this all the time, they're like, why don't you invest in other places? First of all, Detroit is home for me, but second of all, when you're looking at investing in real estate, you want to go to the lowest possible entry. My son, where is he at? There was a duplex he was living in that he wanted to buy, and it's, you know, it was just okay, and they wanted $300,000 for a duplex right on Northfield Boulevard, like 5 minutes from here. I can buy a duplex in the city of Detroit for $90,000. Yep. Now the rent in his duplex that he wanted to buy for $300,000, the monthly income would have been $1,500 per area, right? So write this down, $1,500 a month, you got coming in $1,500 a month. If your duplex is $300,000, your mortgage is probably gonna be like, with taxes and insurance, you're gonna put some money down, you're gonna probably have to put down like about 20% as a new investor, because that's called a DSCR loan, when you get a loan and hold the property. Because you wanna get a mix of holds and flips, okay? Flips are gonna give you quick capital. Bought it for 80, fix it up for 30, put it back on the market for 140. What did you make net? What did you make net? Can I have a stool, please, Christopher? Okay, everybody say hi, little Chris. Hi, little Chris. Little Chris is single. He be like, no, don't do that, please. Everybody say thank you, Bishop. We call him Bishop. His grandmother was a faithful intercessor here. She moved to heaven a couple years ago, but she's so faithful. All right, so what I tell you, how much is rent? $1,500. Okay, if rent is $1,500 and it's for a duplex, so if you got 2 doors, how much is that coming in for that duplex? $3,000. $3,000. Ben? Mm-hmm. Hi, baby. Y'all give it up for my son. Give it up for Ben, how much was that duplex that you wanted to buy, that you and Daddy were trying to negotiate?
$350, the one that I'm at.
$350, excuse me.
Yeah.
Okay, so now, and how much is the rent over there?
15.
15. So which property would be better to invest? In Murfreesboro, where it's $350,000 for a duplex, or $90,000 in Detroit? $90,000. Why? Because your profitability is going to be much stronger, right? So here, if he would have bought that, you could only charge him $1,500 per door. He's just breaking even, and more than likely he's going to put money with it. But if I'm buying a duplex for $90,000, then my mortgage on that is probably going to be like $1,000. So now my cap rate, your cap rate is simply what is the return on the investment. Your cap rate by investing in Detroit is going to be much stronger than investing here in Murfreesboro. Are you following me? Yes. Okay, now, so when you start thinking about doors, you want to think, what did I tell you need to pay attention to? What? What was the word I told you? Entry, right? The lowest possible entry. The other thing you want to look at in investing is you want to look at what is revitalization happening in that city. Because I can get a duplex in Mississippi for $90,000, but is the revitalization going to be as strong there probably? Listen, come on, respond. No, it's not. So you're talking about big city versus little city. Big city is always going to have much stronger opportunity for revitalization, okay? Now, what happens is once you get in this space, you don't want to just think one door. Text, you bring my water, please. You don't want to just think one door. How many doors did I say you need to be thinking about? At least 10, right? At least 10, okay? Thanks. Everybody say thanks, Cassie.
Thanks, Cassie.
All right, so you want to be thinking at least a minimum of 10 doors. You want to do buy and hold or buy and flip? Both. Why do you want to make sure? Why do you want buy and hold? So buy and hold brings you, because they both bring you cash, capital. What brings you capital? No. The flip brings you capital. The holds bring you what? Cash flow, right? Because every single month you're gonna have what? Cash flow coming in. You understand what I'm saying? So flip is good because it's gonna give you what? Capital, right? But hold is gonna give you what? So the holds are gonna put you in a position to be able to live off of the holds. You want it coming in every single month. The other reason you want to hold is what else will you be gaining besides cash flow? Equity, excellent job, right? So you can do what they call cash out refi on those properties, okay? Are you with me? Now, when you are building a real estate portfolio, who are some of the people that you need? Contractors, mortgage broker, right?
Real estate agent.
What do you need your real estate agent for?
Title company.
Like your title company just finding properties.
To help you find the property, you ideally want off-market properties versus on-market properties. Why do you want off-market versus on? Well, there may be a little competition, but usually they're a little less. Okay? Do you want, now listen, this is what you gotta put on your investor cap. Everybody put your hand on your head, I got on my investor cap. When you're looking for these properties, you're not thinking about what you want to live in for you. Okay? You're thinking, how can I take, because distress is your friend. Because when they are distressed, you have an opportunity to take them and make them beautiful. Okay? There are tons of grant money too that you can get for revitalizing, okay? So we said you need a realtor, you need a good title company, you need a contractor. What kinds of contractors do you need? Inspectors, appraisers, she's a realtor. Right, you need a good appraisal, right? You need inspectors, general contractor, even though you can kind of operate as your GC, okay? What is the best kind of investor, passive or aggressive?
Aggressive.
Why is it better to be an aggressive investor? What is a passive investor and what is an aggressive investor? Passive, they're not taking risks, not necessarily not risk. They're investing, so they're taking risks. They're not getting involved. They don't know what's happening. So who do you think makes the most money, passive or aggressive? Why? They're getting involved, right? So what you have to do is you have to create an entire real estate team that feels like family, okay? So I have a project right now, and because what kind of investor am I?
Aggressive.
What kind of investor are you going to be?
Aggressive.
Because I'm an aggressive investor, I'm already thinking about filling the unit. The unit's gonna be done in about 2 weeks. I initially bought the unit to flip it, okay? But it's a duplex. So anytime you have a multi-family, don't let it go. I can tell you, I talked to so many investors who's like, man, I wish I'd have never sold. I got a friend of mine, Verzel, he owns first class title, real cool brother, and he used to own like 35 properties in 2018. He said each of his properties was bringing him like $800 to $1,000 a month. He said, I kick myself all the time. He said, if I would have held those 35 properties, because you're gonna experience challenge, you're gonna experience financial pressure probably at some point investing, okay? But he said, had I held them, that $800 of rent now in those same areas would be $2,000 to $2,500 a month. He'd have been bringing in almost $70,000 a month. just in rental income. But he got out because of the squeeze. Because there's gonna be times you feel squeezed, I'm telling you right now. And you really wanna do it right because you don't wanna have to end up putting money with the mortgage. All right, so I'm gonna give you an example. So I'm gonna call a contractor, they're used to talking to me all the time. So because what kind of investor are you gonna be? So you're gonna ask questions every day. You're gonna affirm them, thank them, and then challenge, because everything is about timelines, right? And so they're the timeline, everybody say timelines. From the time that you purchase the property to the time that you either sell it or put tenants in it, you have holding costs. What are some of those holding costs? Mortgage, utilities, insurance, right? Snow removal, grass needing to be cut, right? Okay, so we're gonna call one. So because what kind of investor are you gonna be? Aggressive. Okay. And how do you keep your properties moving? Hey, how you doing?
Good. I wanted to know if you saw those pictures of that perfection.
Yeah, the bathroom. Come on, let's clap it up for the bathroom. I'm sitting here doing class. No, I called you. It's good. So was that the downstairs bathroom or upstairs?
Call them, tell them what you want. They're both identical.
They're both identical. So is all the baseboard and molded?
Yeah, everything is done. Everything is done with the timeline, as I promised you.
Amazing. Okay, so what are you kind of working on today?
Painting the kitchen, sanding, putting the plates on and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. You mean the plugs and the light switches? Okay.
Just beautifying the house.
Okay, great. Did you say you were starting something in the kitchen or not quite?
Painting the kitchen, putting plugs on the wall.
Oh, nice.
Stuff like that,
Okay, nice. Are you the only one today?
Yeah. We just, I had Damien on, Mendoza. Will come out, so.
Okay, cool. Is Mike coming back on Monday?
Yep, absolutely.
How did he do?
Good. He's sweet. We don't want to get down, he's sweet.
Right. Okay, cool. And so the girl who just walked in the house, the hospital renter, she liked it?
Yeah, she fell in love.
Oh, good, awesome.
Yeah.
All right, everybody say God, bless Yah, his team, and his family, big time. Because we are closing out Hazelwood in the next 10 days. We have many more projects to move on to. In Jesus' name. Okay, thanks, Yah. Okay, so I'm talking to him, he's a part of the team, right? So we're gonna go to another part of the team, because this is all a part of it. It's not just, I found the project. It's how am I maintaining the project and my relationships with my team? Because if your team knows they're gonna always have more projects, they're gonna more than likely work better. And then sometimes you have conflict on the team, right? Anybody saw that fight I had to break up? Okay. Then I had another little situation. Sometimes my husband will be like, wait a minute now. I'm like, it's okay, I'm gonna run for it. But I had to break up another, because, you know what I'm saying? So it happens. But but you have to know, if God called you in that space, you're anointed for every part of it. Okay, so now let's call and check on another property. Everybody say, I'm an aggressive investor.
I'm an aggressive investor.
All right, and then Mill, get ready to pull up. She got it. All right. So so I have most of them on a couple projects. You'll be able to kind of figure out who can handle what. Everybody can't handle everything. Even sometimes emotionally. Like I have one guy
Please leave your message.
I have one guy that's really skilled, but he can't get along with anybody. So I put him by himself because he's one of the best drywallers and painters there is. His prices are, like, he'll do a whole 1-bedroom apartment for me for like $600.
Wow.
Yeah, but if you put Rocky with anybody, he gonna bug.
He just want to be by
Yeah,
himself.
he gonna bug, he gotta be by himself.
Yep, and let him do
So
it.
sometimes, Greg said, I think I'm gonna take him off on such and such. I said, no, he can't work with nobody else. Because I already know it's gonna be some drama, and I need him to focus. But if you put him by himself, he's amazing, right? So then you start going, okay, so this is a property right here on, Gladstone that I'm looking at buying, that red right there. I don't know, are there other pictures that we can show to this? So this property is, I'm buying it for 105, but the comps actually is around the corner from where Yacht is at right now. This is on Gladstone, so it's probably not even 5 minutes from Hazelwood. This is a duplex. I was gonna buy it and possibly flip it, but remember, what did I say? You don't wanna flip what? Right, because those multiple doors is how you really gain wealth. But I thought about it, but then there are 2 tenants living in it. Those tenants are paying $1,100 a month right now. They're 3 bedrooms each. At 3 bedrooms, I can get $1,500 per bedroom. So if I buy it for $100,000, and what I'm gonna do is I'm going to talk to the tenants. Most of the time, I don't let the tenants know that I own it. I act like I'm property management, okay? Even though sometimes they be like, you that girl from TV, I ain't this I'll be like, all right. But anyway, so I'm gonna go talk to them with my team because I'm gonna let them stay in the property, and I'm gonna let them stay on the property, and then I'm gonna keep fixing it up. And in 3 months, I'm gonna raise their rent from $1,100 to $1,500. It's a mom and a daughter. And I just want to make sure that they want to stay in. Because if they don't want to stay in, it might make a decision on if I want to buy it, because when you have to do evictions, sometimes they tear the house up. So you always want to keep tenants. You don't want to be like, forget it. If you don't want to follow the rules, forget it, right? So this is literally around the corner from the project that we just talked to him on, okay? So I had somebody go through and look at that. And so they gave me feedback on what they thought. Oh, these are the pictures. Okay, yeah. So see, it's pretty nice. It's not as nice as right now. Show us some of those pictures. You can tell it's been lived in. So it just needs some touch-up work. And you can see it needs new windows. But look at some of these pictures. Okay. Yeah, we can go through. Let's go through and look at them. So I'll go through and have them put ceiling fans in all the bedrooms. Okay, I'll have them go through and put recessed lights in all the main areas. These are things that increase the value of the property. When you keep property, you can pull cash out, yes.
So will you let them know that you're preparing to increase the rent, or is it like an understood?
I'm gonna let them know.
And then they can make a decision from there?
Yeah. But from what my team said, they're nice people, so I think they'll be fine. But I'm gonna go in and do recessed lights, because now listen, this property is, the ARV on it is $300,000. So as soon as I buy it 3 months later, I'll probably pull at least $100,000 of equity out. Still have the property, it'll only increase my note very little. If I'm making $1,500 up and down, what's that a month? Okay, here he goes. Hey, how you doing?
All right, how you doing, Mr. Joel?
Good. How'd it go today?
The day went pretty good.
Good, what we get done?
We got the trip almost done. We got really stuff together. Check on it tomorrow. Make sure it drives smooth.
Oh, good.
Yeah, that was a job there. That was a job.
Okay.
I don't know why would they use paint.
Right, that made no sense. Did you get a chance to finish the trench to stop all the ice?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, to finish that.
Oh, good. Everybody clap for Greg, he finished it, yay! Okay, cool. And then what about?
You set me up.
I know, I set you Okay, cool. So the trench is done. You just gotta check on Billy's tub. And Trina's in here. Did you get a chance to, start on Trina's property?
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna send her pictures now.
Okay, let's go, Trina! Okay, good. I
They
can
got everything up to code.
Okay. Cool. I think you finished everything on Prairie, right?
Prairie, yeah.
Okay, so that's finished. You just gotta go to, I guess you'll do 3rd Street probably Monday to take Chris that lease.
Yeah, because he ain't answered the phone. I went down there, the answer told me he was gonna be there. I went down there, he ain't answered the phone.
Yeah, you do too much.
Now, these I have to put in his hands so we can sign it.
Exactly. Okay, all right. Okay, well, I appreciate it. We'll talk a little later.
All right.
Okay, bye-bye. Okay, so that's every day. Now, you're not gonna have all that responsibility if you're not working on multiple projects. So don't let the responsibility scare you, because I'm working on my projects and then helping other people with their projects. Let's go to Rent Ready. So this is a system that Camille set up for me because one of the properties that I was running, or property management was running, they were taking so much of my money, and I didn't even really realize it, because I told y'all details is an area that I have to grow in, and Camille did a full analysis, and we realized we immediately needed to take it out of the hands of that property management company, and I've already financially started filling it. So we could go to Rent Ready and pull that up. And basically what this is an app on your phone where you can upload leases. People can apply to live there through the app. They'll do their background check, their criminal background check. It'll show you how much rent they are owed, when they pay. It sends a notification to your phone. They can upload repairs in there. I mean, it's a whole deal. I highly recommend that you, because I have a mix. I have property management, but then I started managing this property along with Camille, and it saved me a bunch of money. And so I was telling Trina this, I said, you gotta be careful, because when you have property management managing it, which I don't want you to be an investor and a property manager, I really don't. But you do have to at least make sure that you're aggressively overseeing it, because I was probably losing 20% of my income. You know what I mean? It should have been 6 figures, but it came in at $77,000 net last year, which is why there were many months I had to pull money out of my pocket to make the mortgage on that property. That's not gonna work. That's not what you're doing. But a lot of times property management companies can be taxing you so much on adding on fees for pesticide, landscaping, plumbing, all the things, and it adds up and it starts really cutting into your revenue. So you do have to make sure that you do an analysis so you can make sure that the property is producing the way that it's supposed to. One of the other things that I want to say, Trina, you got your picture, girl. I see just on the chat. But one of the things that I want to say is that once you get a property stabilized, when I say stabilized, that means that the best kind of property to buy is a cash flowing property. Everybody say cash flowing property. You want to buy a property that already has the tenants in it, paying your rent every single month. The only thing you have to make sure is you want to know, are they paying market rent? Because if they're not paying market rent, you need to increase their rent. So I'll give you an example. I closed on a 4-unit a few months back, and I inherited 2 tenants. Those 2 tenants were not paying market rent. Market rent was $1,200. They were paying $800, and they were paying cash. And it was annoying because they'd be like $200 on the 5th, $300 on the 5th. I don't do that at all. But because I inherited them, and I knew what I was inheriting, because it was still such a good deal, that I went ahead and did it. I'm still glad I did it, because I was able to use the equity, so I didn't have to have any money down. The property was $350,000. I didn't have to bring any money to close, because the property appraised for $500,000. But I bought it for $350,000. Are you following what I'm saying? So you get to a point as an investor where you're able to start using the equity for your down payment and closing costs. I technically was supposed to be walking away with $15,000, but the broker failed to do the numbers properly and I didn't walk away with any money. But I'm still grateful because I bought an apartment building with no money down. And this is where you want to be. Yeah, right? Clap that up. That's good, right? So I raised the rent on them in December. They're each paying $1,000. But as soon as I get the 2 units filled upstairs, then I'm going to raise the rent again to $1,250, which is the market rent, which is where it should be. And they needed some updates done that the last landlord really did not take good care of them at all. So I wanted to get them up to my standard, before I start saying raise your rent, okay? Yes. 903106. Any questions so far? Oh, and she said, just listening to you talk to your contractors, how do they know when you're telling the truth? So when I'm in the city, I'm going to pull up on them every single day on every project, every day. And so I've worked with them long enough now where they trust me, they know I'm gonna pay them when they do good work, they know I'm gonna challenge them when I don't like it. I'm very vocal, and so now we have a working relationship, and it's pretty good. So now most of the time, they check in with me every day, they know I want pictures and videos every single day. And if they miss a day, that's okay, they can do every other day, but I try to do things like, like Greg, he has grandchildren, so when they have pageants, I sew into it. I gave them Christmas gift for their babies, you know what I'm saying? Or I'll say, hey, y'all want pizza today? And then I'll order pizza, or sometimes I'll pull up and everybody getting fresh juice. They be like, Jewel got us out here drinking this juice. And I'm like, I gotta keep y'all healthy, okay? So I try to make sure we develop that kind of rapport. Okay, so this is a system that Camille set up that I really, really love. And so let's go to renters. So it gives me a screenshot of this property, really just with, renters is good. Yeah, renters is good. So I can see in the screenshot, right there, like all of their rent being paid. They have to go on and click a link to set it up on the portal. But I see Kaylin's rent, I see Chris, Benetti's rent, Robert's rent, you see that? Mm-hmm. Guyton's rent, Kim's rent, Milton's rent. I can see everybody's rent just at a glance, right? And then I can see if they paid. So now let's go to, properties, and then, okay, let's go to, where's charges? I wanna see if they paid. There's a button on here that says charges somewhere. Okay, so this lets me know if they paid or not. So they don't owe any money. So I can see Brandon is paid. Brandon paid February 1st. Is that right?
So one of the things to mention, you guys, too, the reason you see so much red is because she has a lot of government people, like Section 8 and so forth. So those agencies are behind. So the way that I set it up was each tenant has 2 charges monthly, but it's split in what they owe versus agencies. So most agencies are about a month behind. So they'll show red until we receive that money, and then we apply it.
Yes.
What's the 1W mean? Is that a week behind or a week before it's due?
1W. She said, what does the 1W mean?
So the 1W, that's just how we label that particular property. So it's like a 1W and a 1E for East and West.
Okay.
And that's how the city did their address.
Okay.
Question. for the red, so the tenant can the tenant goes and pay the $50, one of them is paying the $1,150. So can they just come out of pocket and pay it, or do you have to wait for the agency to pick it up?
No, they pay their portion out of pocket.
Okay,
So when I get there, they can click on this app and pay,
okay,
and then I get a notification, rent paid.
gotcha.
They're not gonna pay what the agency owes though. They're
Yeah.
like, listen, I'm paying my $50.
And that's it, that's it, okay, gotcha,
Yeah.
okay.
So that's another thing, I'm glad both of you guys brought that up. That's another thing, you wanna have relationships with the agency. So a lot of times, I'll be on the phone and Mel and I are doing business, I'll say, okay, I'm pulling up to Section 8 now. So I'm in a relationship with the Section 8 agencies, I'm in a relationship with veteran agencies because I still have units that are unoccupied. You do not want unoccupied units, and you do not just want to wait on property management to fill them. I want property management to fill them, but I'm not gonna wait on property management to fill them. You see what I'm saying? I'm gonna be aggressive. So this girl who just walked through, who said she liked the property, I was introduced to her from another property manager. We do a lot of business together. He said, hey, I got somebody who wants a 3-bedroom. So she just came and saw it. So now I'm gonna call her and say, hey girl, what you think? When you wanna move in? She say the 23rd, I'll be like, yeah, you gotta be done with the house on the 23rd because I got a tenant ready to move in, unless you can pay the mortgage for her. No, seriously, I tell them. Yeah, I tell them, yes.
So as far as property managers, are you on a payment where you paying them so much to get so many tenants into your property?
Yeah, so every property management have relationships with several property managers, and they basically get the first month rent,
Okay,
any of them. So if they send me somebody, they're gonna get the first month rent,
okay.
okay? So, and then what I do is, it takes a lot of follow-up, because now I wanna follow up with the girl who walked through. Yeah, I told me she liked it, but I wanna hear her say she liked it, then I wanna know what day she wanna move in.
And I want to have the system set up so she can apply the right way.
Correct. Yes, yes.
Okay, so Section 8 individuals get such a bad reputation. What is a mindset that I can walk away with that helps me to open the door to them? Because, you know, sometimes you get these tenants who are just not good tenants. So what?
For sure. We've been really good not to have a lot of evictions, because the credit check is good. And I always tell my property managers to use discernment. And you're not supposed to kind of do this, but I tell them I want 40 plus. So I don't have a lot of young, like, tenants. Most of my tenants are veteran, 40s, 50s, 60s, you know what I'm saying? You know, I have all kinds. Greg was about to talk about one of my tenants, Finley, a new tenant, but he does good work. He's a transgender. And so Finley, Greg was in there working, and Greg was like, well, man. So Greg was like, yeah, I felt like Philly was kind of looking at me. I was about to be like, look, man. I said, it's okay, Greg. Just go in there, do the work. You know what I'm saying? Just go. He said, yeah, I'm going to bring my nephew in here, because I promise you I'll bust that. You know? I was like, it's all right, Greg. And I can't say Philly, maybe Philly does. You know, I don't know. But I'm like, just focus on the bathtub. You know? Just focus on the bathtub and get out, you know? And then, you know, so we have all kinds. But I said that to say, and I pray over my tenants, I declare the blood of Jesus over all. If any of you have properties, I declare the blood over your properties and the blood of all of your tenants, and we call them blessed in Jesus' name. But we really haven't had a lot of problems with evictions because most of our Section 8 people are working people, and they're just hardworking people who just want a clean, nice place to stay. If I feel like they that wretched kind, they won't move in. Like I had one guy, he was in his 20s, and he wanted to move in, and my property manager said, no, he can't move in, not just because he's in his 20s, but she goes on his Facebook and Instagram, and he was on there shooting a gun, acting crazy, and so we told him that he was denied. So I think if you get him over 40, for the most part, you're gonna be good, okay? And so this just gives you a quick scales view of how much is owed in the next 30 days, how much has been paid, and then how much is still outstanding. One of the reasons you want to have a relationship with a property manager, because I feel like at the end of the day, nobody gonna go get your money really like you. You know what I'm saying? I pick up, the last 2 times I went to Detroit, I was at the agencies picking up checks. Because I'll send them the mail so she can put them down in the county and say, okay, I just picked up this check. And she's like, who is this for? This is because they maybe owe me since October, November, because they're slow like that. Once they get caught up, especially when they're new, when you first get a Section 8 tenant, it might take you 90 days before you get the first check. And so what you want to do is have a good working rapport with everybody in that, everybody from Section 8, housing, veteran. You want them to know that you're an investor that cares and you're an investor about your business. So now they're starting to call me because I have a good reputation in the city, so people know I handle my business. They we know if somebody heat out, you're gonna have somebody over there fixing it. If we had somebody's pipes burst on Monday morning, Monday night, they was together. So you get a good reputation when you take care of your tenants, and then when it's time to go up on rent, nobody have a hard time paying because they already know, this company, and I always tell them I'm with the company. I got one guy last week, who's that? Chris Benetti.
Yeah.
I want to talk to management. I said, well, that's going to be Camille. I said, I'm just a messenger. And I know Camille ain't gonna play with her. Between her and my other property manager, I have to remind them, y'all be nice. I'm the nice one. They like, I want to talk to you. I'm like, I ain't got the power to make that decision. I'm just here. All along, I own that joint. But you're not gonna know, because I'm not gonna argue with you. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna argue with you. Yes, Mill.
Now, I was gonna say too, in your relationships with your property managers, just kind of check behind that they're doing everything that's in your lease as the owner of what you want done. When we transferred the properties over the latter part of the year, Dr. Jewel explained to me that she had spoken with the property manager to say, I don't want the utilities in my name, and I want it to be the responsibility. So these tenants were very spoiled too because their utilities were included in their rent. And so this was an out-of-pocket expense of her of 4 figures, when they, it was just a lot. And so the loophole, which was actually really great, is that the lease explicitly said that they were responsible, but the property management company at that time was just putting NA, and she was marketing the properties including it. But because of the way that the leases were written, we were able to let them know we're not increasing your rent this year, but as of now, you need to get this utilities in your name. And we only had pushback from maybe 1, and maybe I'll say 1.5, but other than that, they were like, listen, she's been great. We've had no problems. She's not increasing rent. I'm big grown, so let me just take care of this responsibility. And so just making sure that your property manager is doing the things that you desire to be done as a property owner, with your property, engaging with your tenants and the rules and regulations that you want to put in place to protect you financially.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, Gene.
Dr. Jewel, so when you buy these properties, how does financing look? Are you dealing with banks, credit unions, hard money lenders?
Yeah, great question. So basically, all you have to have is a 700 credit score. Technically, we can help you even if you have 680. But what we do is we have lenders. Well, they'll give you 100% financing on the rehab, and then they'll probably finance like 80%. So you have to come with 20% down. And we help you get business credit cards and or business open lines of credit that you can use for your down payment and closing costs. Because most people don't have capital that I work with. Most people have no capital, and they're coming with just business credit cards, business open lines of credit, and that's how we're doing it. Okay, and this is why you want to do flip, like hold, flip, hold, so you can use your flips to have your big capital. Yes, and then yes.
I don't know if this is the place to talk about it. What kind of fees do you charge in order to help us to be in this?
So my mentorship fee, and I will tell you that investing in real estate is not hard, but it is not easy. And it's a lot of moving parts. And so for one door, $10K. If you want me to work with you for a year, we do as many as property as possible. That's buy and flip and buy and hold, and that's from beginning to end. That's helping you find the property, that's helping you negotiate, that's helping you get contractors, that's helping you, not doing it, but helping you to oversee that project. Because what I've learned is that most of the people I'm working with are men, right? And so you really have to run a tight ship with them, because if you don't, they will be across the street doing another job, right? So they gotta know that, no, I ain't gonna mess with jewel stuff. You know what I mean? They know, I'm like, where you at? Where were you at? You told me you're gonna be there at 9 o'clock. And so you really, that relationship between your contractors and your investor is really important. And this is what I also found, is that they need to know that the entire community will probably stop rocking with them. Because it's not just you. I got tons of women and guys coming together, so you got to lose all of that money if you mess up this job. So $25K for the entire year to do as many properties as possible. That's a mixture of buy and flip and buy and hold. And then we also have a funding company that will give you that money if you don't want to use your own capital. We have a funding company that will give you that money and you pay a monthly fee for that. And then we have just like a regular community that charges $59 a month, where we just talking all things real estate. You jump on Zoom a couple of times a month. But I find after a while you want to get in the game. Like I've been heard, but now like let's execute and actually get in the game. But all your money is your money, because I don't partner with you on the properties. You own them 100%, right? So that's just me there supporting the whole process. Somebody else question? Okay. Did you have one?
Oh, yeah, okay, so say for, I'm mentioning this not, so say for somebody that just doesn't, they want to be into that, where do they start?
Where do you start? Okay.
They don't have the.
As long as you have good credit, that's all I need you to have. I just need you to have at least 680 credit score. Because if you got 680 credit score, that's it. You'll create an LLC, operating agreement, articles of incorporation. You'll go to the bank. We'll tell you which banks to go to open up your business credit cards and business lines of credit. And you'll also have support from Ashia, Camille, and Marquita. And so we'll walk you through every single step of the way. And then I do monthly meetings in the city of Detroit every month that are free, that I recommend my investors come to, because they're really gonna help you, because it gives you opportunities to meet other people in the city that are making serious moves. Detroit is really like a Black Wall Street. It's probably the best time to invest. You wanna invest as much as possible, because we're really projected to become like a little New York in the next couple of years. Most people won't be able to afford to get in there. So now is the time to really get in there and get as much property as you can, and do not sell it, hold it, because in a very short amount of time, that rent's gonna keep going up, and you're gonna look at it and say, wow, I really built a really beautiful portfolio. Yes?
You know I got a question, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you told me you're from Atlanta, right? Who did you tell me you're from? Detroit?
I live in Florida.
Live in Florida? You bought in Detroit?
Yes.
How did that go? Like, how did you help her? Did you help her?
Yeah.
Her visit Detroit?
Yeah.
Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so everything. No, you're good. So I do that. Most of my investors, I probably say 80% of the community is coming from different parts of the country. So basically, I have a network that I work with every single day, and they're sending me inventory. I like that duplex I showed you guys earlier. But when I saw that, I said, that's mad. But usually I'm calling a client and saying, oh, I think I found a good property for you. And then I'll shoot you over the specs. I'll say, this is the purchase price, this is the ARV, this is how much the rehab is. I know you want to do a flip. I think this will be a good flip for you. Or I think this will be a good hold for you. And then if you agree and you like it, then I start hooking you up with the lenders to get your money, to get your down payment, your closing costs, and then we go to work. The day you close, if you close on a Monday, I tell the contractors you want them there on Tuesday. I give you a list of contractors to choose from. You can call them. I used to assign contractors. I don't do that anymore, because everybody can't get along with everybody. And I was just running into drama with, I could get along with Chuck, but you couldn't get along with Chuck. And so now I'm the problem. I'm like, look, you know what? Get your own contractor. You go to the list, you call them and see how, because some of them are not the easiest to work with. And then if you super saint, if they cuss, you having a fit. I'm like, okay, go find you a safe, sanctified contractor. I'm gonna see how that work out. Because most of them got mouths, they drink, they smoke weed. I mean, listen, stop with all that super saint stuff.
Stop trying to change the
Stop trying to change and get that money. You know what I'm saying? So they know, I just tell them, as long as it don't impact your performance, I said, if you smoke, go outside the house. That's all I'm asking you to do. Some of them boys, they come in there and say, I'm like, Negro, I told you to smoke outside the house. I did. It's strong, Jewel. Nigga, listen. Then can you wait till after 5? When you leave then? Because you got, I don't want my house smelling like weed. I told you that. So then sometimes they can stay, sometimes they can't stay. Because I'm like, I'm not going to have my whole house smelling like weed. Yo, contact. I feel I ain't got high in over 30 years. I feel like I'm high standing next to you, nigga. You know, that's who they are. So, but my point is, I like for everybody to choose their own contractor, so then that way you can get with whoever you want to get with person, because I can get along with anybody, but everybody's not like that. So you get to choose your own contractor, but then after that, I hope you manage that property. I'm telling you, Carl, did you talk to Chuck today? Okay, I didn't see the group text with the pictures and the videos. Oh yeah, I talked to him last week. That was last week. Why you ain't talking to him? He said, I don't care what he said. That's your house. He ain't gonna, he not, and if he feel like he ain't gonna be watched, if you running it too loose, I'm telling you, you're gonna be across the street at the project across the street. You know why he get more done? Because he in his butt. He get more done because he in his butt. So they know, they so funny, they be like, she's a girly thug. I be on their butt. I play no games with them because I already know how they're gonna do. And so you don't have to be masculine, but you need to be clear and you need to be firm, right? That I want this is how I want my job ran, okay? So that's how we do it.
And also, she goes to Detroit once or twice a month, so she goes and checks every investor's property. So she doesn't just talk to them, she's actually going and making sure what they said they were doing, they're doing, and she's staying on top of it when the investors aren't there. We do encourage them to come up there as often as possible, at least once or twice, like in the start, maybe the middle and the end. But she does take on that responsibility and she does her rounds to all the properties every time she's there. She's normally there about a week each time, so.
Yeah. And they see me every day, yeah. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And they send me every time I'm there. And they don't know when I'm coming and going.
She just pop up.
I just pop up. I don't never tell them where I'm at. They don't never know. They be like, are you on your way here? Maybe. Maybe. What it's looking like over there? Send me some pictures. Yes and then yes.
Because Dr. Jewel, we was on the field, I'm going to tell her about the field trip we had. She did 2 days now. And she said, come on, we about to go scoop on somebody real quick, set up, and they did. She snuck on them with all of us, and they were shocked. I was like, all right then. And that's what you have to do. But I'm in the certified, and I'm like, even though we talk, and it helps a lot. Especially when you be on the Zoom calls and everything, it really does help a lot.
Yeah, help you stay focused, right?
Help you stay focused.
Yeah, that's good. Somebody else?
I know you said you focus on Detroit because you're from there. Have you scouted out any other opportunities in any other markets besides Detroit?
So I can take it anywhere. So if you say, can you come to Atlanta? Yes. Can you come to Texas? Yes. But what I find is that it takes way more to be a successful investor than most people think. And so there's the opportunity in Detroit is so huge, and I have tons of favor. The doors have opened for me, and so I'm just focused there. Not that I would never do it somewhere else, but it takes a lot. It really does. It takes having a relationship with the city, because the next thing I was gonna tell y'all is you need to get property tax exemption, because your property taxes alone can be thousands of dollars. One of my property taxes for one property would be $40,000 on an apartment building, $40,000 a year. But because I was able to get property tax exemption, because I got a 501c affordable housing, organization. But then once I got the 501c3, then I had to file for the property tax exemption office at the property tax assessor's office, and they only approve twice a year. But thankfully, I've got a relationship. I was able to call and say, yo, pull myself to the top, please approve me. You see what I'm saying? And so now all my properties are property tax exempt, except for my newer ones. I gotta still go through the process. But that's a whole nother thing, because if you don't get property tax exemption on your properties, especially your multifamilies, you're gonna be cutting into the income tremendously. So that's another relationship wherever you are, Baltimore, wherever, that you need to establish. And I want everybody to change their mind. Don't just think where I live or where I like. You see what I'm saying? We have a home in Atlanta, beautiful home in Atlanta, but Atlanta is not necessarily the best place to invest in. I was hanging out there with one of my girlfriends who's big in real estate there, and she said, don't even come here talking like that, because we can't compare to the prices in Detroit. I got friends now in New Jersey who said, we are priced out, we're coming to Detroit. So I have people investing in Detroit now because they used to invest in Atlanta, they used to invest in New York, but it's become price prohibitive. It doesn't make sense to invest. It's gonna take you 3, 4, 5 years before you start cash flowing. So you gotta think bottom line when you're investing, not just where I love or where I like. So I said that to say, I can do it anywhere. I have people saying, hey, come here and help me, and I will, but I want you to think numbers. If we got people from India and South Asia and Caribbean coming to Detroit to invest, I'm black, you black, it's a black city with a black female mayor, what up? We need to be owning territory in that place. So I'm not opposed to doing other places, I will. But I just want you to think about all the relationships and all the resources that are gonna be needed, not just to buy a house, but I'm talking about taking blocks and territories and regions.
Yeah. I want you to look at Gary, because I work at a title company,
Okay.
and since I've been there since July, but I've had title background forever. I just started with this company, a new title company, but they have been sending us like 30 deals a week
Wow.
from Gary.
Wow.
That's 90% of their business is Gary.
If you wanna invest, I'm coming to Gary.
Are you saying Gary, Indiana?
Gary,
Gary,
yeah.
This is a white group
Yeah.
of investors. They do private investing, and I'm
Yeah.
telling you, I didn't realize it was that much
They're coming
business
in.
in Gary.
Yeah,
30 deals a week
yeah.
is a
No,
lot.
Gary's another black, it's a black city, isn't it? Yeah, Gary's a black city. I think and I'm not that I'm opposed to Gary, but this is what you gotta think about. When you start investing heavy in the city, you're gonna need people in authority. So because I got so many relationships with people in authority, because it could be, I need this house knocked down. They're supposed to be knock this house down and it's still not, okay, let me pick up the phone and call. So not that I can't. So if you call me and say, I wanna invest in Gary, will you mentor me through? The answer is absolutely yes. But you wanna just think from beginning to end, what kind of support am I gonna have if I wanna take the city? Because I'm not investing to do 1 or 2. I'm investing to take a city. Right now, Detroit is owned mainly by 3 white families, Ford family, Illich family, and Gilbert family. They were given multiple millions of dollars. Reallocation of grants is happening now. So now all of us are in line to get that, but that's because I got the relationships to pick up the phone and say, hey, them grants. Okay, yes.
So, two things. One, how do we get in contact so that we can move forward and explore the opportunity? And the second thing is, in the process, how much would I have to consider having set aside to be able to cover like the mortgage or the expenses until I get someone in the property?
Very good. So what I do for first-time investors, I'm looking for properties between 60 and 100,000 for you. We're not going out big. We're gonna go in with small margins so your overall costs are small. And I look for small rehabs. When I say a small rehab, that's gonna probably be under 30,000. Under 30,000 rehab, you're gonna probably be in and out of that boy in 2 to 3 months, right? So you'll have holding costs of the mortgage. The mortgage is probably gonna be around $800, $900. Utilities probably another $200. So on average, you're looking at $1,000 or $1,400 a month to hold that property. In some cases, we can add that fee onto your rehab. So if the rehab is 30,000, I'm gonna ask the lender for 36,000. And that'll cover your monthly, because that's what I'm doing on one of my projects now. While I'm doctoring the project, y'all just in, I'm making him pay the mortgage from the rehab. So when he gets a draw, I'm like, give me $2,000, because you've been in this house 2 months longer than what I anticipated, than what you told me. And he has some problems with teens, and that happens. One of the guys flaked out on him. I mean, that's not it's the nature of it. So you gotta be focused. But yeah, so that's what we would do. So you can see, you can get on certifynation.com, ASSEITFY, huh?
The banner outside.
The banner outside is a barcode on there? Okay. Yes.
So I know this is probably a long jump question, but what qualifies a property for affordability?
Yeah, so all you have to do is say that you have transitional, you do transitional housing. They don't want you to do Section 8, they don't want you to do V8, but if you do transitional housing, which basically means that as people are coming out of prison, they can stay here. And I do actually do that, but I only will get them if they're 40 or over. I don't take people out of prison if they're 20, 30 years old, because they still got that spice. I like it by the time they just simmer down and don't have all that spice. Give me about 50 years old, you've been in jail for 20 years and you just got out, but disability is paying half of your rent, and then the housing agency is paying the rest. Come on, Mr. James, you be all right. You know what I'm saying? Come right on, right? And most of the time, they're good people, they just need another chance when they're older. Yes.
What do you think about, mobile homes?
Mobile homes, so they don't, I'm not a fan of them. My good friend Abdul kills it in mobile homes. I'm not a fan just because the price appreciation, equity standpoint is not really there. Like, in other words, mobile homes are not gonna appreciate nearly as much as solid brick and mortar, right? So I was gonna do it because you can get in so low and they can cash flow good. And I know people make good money, especially if you end up owning a mobile home park. I just didn't have a drawing to it at all. But I'm proud of people that are doing well in it, but yeah, the equity is too low. I got a property now that I bought at $800,000 3 years ago, now it's worth right at $2 million. You see what I'm saying? Mobile home ain't doing that. You know, but I'm not down in it because I know I have good friends that I love and respect that are doing very well with mobile homes.
I'm possessed because my mother has one, but it needs some
Yeah.
work, and I'm just trying to
Yeah.
get it to be work.
Yeah, I mean, she already got it, maybe, but I wouldn't build on it. But like I said, I don't want to speak against it because I got friends that's killing it in it. But I just don't like it because the price appreciation. And I asked Abdul about that. I said, Abdul, they don't really appreciate that like that. He said, no, but they cash flow good. And so for him, that was important. But I wanted cash flow good and price appreciation and equity. Anybody else? Okay. My website is certifynation.com. The barcode is on the banner out there if you want that. Certify is ASSETIFY nation.com. Okay. All right. I think that, yes, absolutely. Look at that. Amen. I love y'all. Yeah, we gonna be asset heavy. Plan on registering for next year's prayer school. Who coming back next year? Yeah, we're gonna keep going higher. I hope to see you guys tonight at 6 o'clock. And then, that video. Go ahead and play it. Tyler, it's 2 minutes. Tyler, y'all pulled it up. Who pulled that up? Play that. It's 5:30. I'm sorry, 5:30. And then in the morning at 10 a.m. Play this real quick. I
built it in a neighborhood that is one of the poorest black neighborhoods in Atlanta, so the young black kids can see that a black man did that. I built it in a neighborhood that is one of the poorest black neighborhoods in Atlanta, so the young black kids can see that a black man did that and they can do it too. I was trying to help somebody cross. The studio was once a Confederate Army base, and I want you to hear this, which meant that there was Confederate soldiers on that base plotting and planning on how to keep 3.9 million Negroes enslaved. Now that land is owned by one Negro. It's all about trying to help somebody cross. While everybody was fighting for a seat at the table, talking about Oscar so white, I said, y'all go ahead and do that. But while you fighting for a seat at the table, I'll be down in Atlanta building my own. Because what I know for sure is that if I could just build this table, God would prepare it for me in the presence of my enemies. Rather than being an icon, I want to be an inspiration. So thank you, BET, my new family. Thank you, everybody. I want you to hear this. Every dreamer in this room, there are people whose lives are tied into your dream. Own your stuff. Own your business. Own your way. God bless you. Thank you, BET. Thank you, Scott.
See you tonight at 5:30.
No, that's not mine.